Imagine you want to buy something really bad, like a new car, a nice house, or an eSports team, but you don't got the cash for it. So what do? Intensify your hustle, take a loan, or just start up an illegal online casino operation. And guess what FaZe did? Bootstrapping an esports organization isn't something that really works, especially if you want to buy an existing roster. G2 was estimated at around $1 million back then, and FaZe wanted to buy them. They needed money, and much more than they got. In the end, a deal was made. FaZe gets G2's roster for a whopping $700k US, the biggest amount ever spent for an esports roster until this point. But FaZe didn't got that money. So they got, let's say, a bit more creative regarding their financing. Let's go back to the year 2015. It was the time of the first big wave of Couter-Strike skin gambling sites. Many of those popped up at the time. Often they were secretly run by YouTubers and streamers, often they were rigged to lure more users in, and sometimes they were just straight up scam. I think some people back then didn't even realize that all those sites were basically casinos, which made millions of dollars of revenue each month. I mean, still to this day, some sites just straight up lie about what they're actually doing, like CSGOWild, which is officially no gambling or casino site, but a marketplace for skin trading. Sure. Well, other sites are at least a bit more open about the fact that they do gamble, which is, and especially was some years ago, illegal in most countries. Some got licenses from one of the few countries that allow online casinos, which, by the way, doesn't make them legal in most other countries, like the US and many European countries, but at least it looks better if you can say that you got a license, even though it's from some island state nobody has ever heard of. But how do you get such a license? Well, in the case of FaZe Clan, it was something like this. Fly to Antigua, meet with the head of state, hand him over 100,000 cash, get your license, and start up your shady skin casino operation. And just like some dog-loving YouTubers at the time, they obviously didn't reveal that it was their site. Because this could have been an immensely negative impact on their reputation. I mean, we're talking about a business which was at least questionable regarding Steam's terms of service, and definitely just semi-legal to run at all. Because yes, they got a license, but they provided their service to many users where they couldn't legally operate their business, such as the US. So after all these years, we can't say for sure if and in which way CSGOWild was rigged. But what we know is that FaZe intensively advertised the site, and that their balance was just magically topped up again and again, even during live streams.
No, we don't even know how. I swear to God, this is so random.
I had 5,000 here, now I have 12,000.
We don't know what the fuck this.
Okay.
Even happen?
So we can't know for sure if the balance was the only thing that was influenced while playing. To my knowledge, nothing of this whole CSGOWild thing was ever brought to court, probably because it was just suspected to be FaZe who ran all of this, but nobody got the proof for it back then. As far as I'm concerned, they basically violated US law by advertising and playing in an online casino that got no US license, and they violated the FTC's guidelines by advertising the site without noting that it was basically their own. Interestingly enough, even though the goal of this gambling operation was to make enough money to buy a Couter-Strike team, this site seemingly made up to 200k per day, meaning that they could have just bought the team in less than a week. But the site ran for at least 9 months. To be exact, until the very day Valve sent a cease and desist letter to many skin gambling sites back then. On the last possible day, on July 23rd, 2016, CSGOWild went out of service. We don't know how much the earnings fluctuated, but if we assume that they made at least half of their top daily earnings a day, this would mean $27.2 million of gross revenue, which sums up to 39 CSGO teams. If they only stopped at the point when they got a cease and desist letter, would they have just continued this operation forever, even though it was originally just intended to finance their Counter-Strike team? It also brings up the question, would FaZe have ever been that vastly successful team they became in the following years without the money they made with gambling back then? There are many people in the scene who've known for a long time that it was FaZe who ran CSGOWild, even though they denied it multiple times, and even though it took until 2020 for FaZe Banks to reveal that they really ran the site.
So with that, people started creating these like gambling sites where you could gamble with these skins. We came up with this idea with these kids, I came up with this idea for a different way to do it. And we branded it the right way. And my motivation for doing it actually was at the time we weren't making enough money to buy a CSGO team. All in, the venture was going to cost us like $1 million, and we definitely did not have anything close to that.
So, what do you think about all of this? Was it just a smart business move of FaZe to get the funding for the team from the hype of skin gambling back then? Or do you find it an unethical business operation they can be grateful about that it never had a legal aftermath? I'm excited to read your comments, and as always, thanks for watching, and until next time.